What's up, folks? This is Nero D Viral, back with another Game of Thrones video. This one is about the finale, so being the last episode, if you don't want something from Game of Thrones spoiled, go ahead and pause this, change the video, whatever. Stick your fingers in your ear if you don't get to your device. I understand YouTube autoplays, and you may not have intended to hear this at all. Anyway, about 5 more seconds, and we're gonna start. Okay, let's start with the end. Stick your fingers in your ears if you're running to your device. I apologize, but do like and subscribe before you leave. Anyway, yes, I think it's cheesy the way people do that. At the same time, it is what it is. Let's start with the end scene. It bookends perfectly the very first scene of the show, which is also the prologue to the first book, A Game of Thrones. First book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. Anyway, we have the wall, or the the guys going out the tunnel, out the other side into the north in the prologue to the first scene of the series. And they go out, and there's obviously two of them get killed by the others. And maybe some whites, they see that slaughtered family, and instead of, this great threat being out there, and the others, the White Walkers, hiding amongst the trees, you can see them if you rewatch it. It's the people going out there into the trees because it's safe now, because Jon, his family, his friends, his compatriots, they sacrificed and, got rid of the White Walkers. And that's what Jon's done. He's made it safe for other people. He made it safe for Sam. He's been on the side of good, even at great personal cost to himself. And even though they did a good job of making it seem like he was just going to be so stupid and stubborn and stalk that he wouldn't do the obvious thing. And okay, Dany is a character. Daenerys Targaryen is a character in the book. Her name is an anagram, and the show, obviously. Her name is an anagram for Ares' end. At her end, she's like Ares. She's like Ares at the end. She got the same end as Ares in the same room. Stabbed. Jon wasn't one of her king's guard, technically, but come on, He was one of her protectors. Anyway. And her behavior. There's other videos I've made, other videos about, the step-by-step Dany to madness. Or not step-by-step, but just... And she... want to be more reactionary, more meta, I guess, than getting down to the nitty-gritty. Those are for other videos. And she's not Joffrey. She wasn't born wanting to torture, or, in her early adolescence without enduring great hardships, just wanting to torture things because she's bored and rich and has, that wasn't her. She had to move around house to house when she was a child because of assassins, and if you grow up hearing, we've got to leave because they're coming to kill us, maybe other people's lives don't mean so much when you get basically absolute power. She had a traumatic childhood, and it's one of those ones too that it's not that bad where you're going through it, where you have to move, okay, but why are you moving? Because people are trying to kill you, because there's powerful men in castles across an ocean, or a narrow sea rather, and they're saying words, and because they say some words in a room, this is almost like Vice, the movie. People across the world die, or at least attempt to, and I'd grow up hating politics and hating people, and I'd grow up full of hate too. And then it's not in an obvious way where, you're getting beaten, you're like, oh, I hate this person, I hate people that beat people, and I hate bullies, and I hate, it's not that. It's that more subtle kind that, explodes on you later in life when you're sitting there on your dragon, and that's absolute power. We saw, whether it's intentional or not, Drogon basically can't be killed, basically can't. Arya could probably poison him somehow. Maybe he'd sniff the poison out. I don't know. Maybe you could sneak up on him. I mean, he sleeps, right? Jeez. But anyway, effectively, he can't be killed. He's a super weapon, and it's like some, you know, medieval lord having an F-15 with unlimited missiles somehow, you know. 1 second, gotta check on my cats. There we go. Sorry if my reception fuzzed out there. The cats are loose. I've got a newish cat. Anyway, they get along fine. He just plays a little too rough for her. Anyway, so Dany has absolute power. She had a traumatic childhood. She'd had recent traumatic events, and you know, she's not a warrior herself. She can't. When she gets mad, you know, she probably doesn't think about picking up a sword and going after a training dummy to release some anger. You know, she can kill you, and now she can suddenly, after having no power. You know, then being the Drogo's wife, you know, kind of powerful there. Got the baby, definitely got the power, got a taste of power then. And she was good with it at first, but I mean, it corrupts, absolutely. And, you know, if you see yourself as the fixer of evil, the righter of wrongs, kind of like Empire Strikes Back, what's going to be in that cave, which is where your future, where you're going, is what you take with you. And, yeah, she said it herself, she was going to go all over the world stamping out injustice. And I will say it, this will probably get somebody trying to take the video down for some reason, if anyone ever even hears it. But, you know, it's kind of like, hey, SJWs, calm down a little bit. You know? Calm down. Can't fight everyone all the time. We've got to have some peace. And, I mean, you go out looking for injustice everywhere in other people, never yourself. Never looking at your own actions, never, you know, allowing them to be criticized. Dany was sort of an SJW figurehead, and I'm glad she fell because of that reason. And I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to derail. I'm a centrist. You know, I'm not on the extreme of either party. But if you knew me and all my beliefs, you might, anyway, might think I was a supporter of Dany. But I watched the show and paid attention, and you know, it was a clear path to madness, not to mention her name being an anagram for the Mad King, an ending, and okay, that's what I meant when I started to babble about Joffrey. The Mad King, her father, Aerys II Targaryen, was not a Joffrey either. He was at least okay, I think, in the beginning, and after episode 3, I was very mad. The Night King is my favorite character ever. And doesn't mean I wanted him to win. The prophecies and all the mythology they've created in Game of Thrones is also one of my favorite characters, and I felt like a lot of that was ignored. I've done a video on that. Don't want to get sidetracked. I'm only doing 15 minutes or 13 minutes and 34 seconds on this one. But yeah, Dany was made mad just like her father. He wasn't born a jerk wanting to burn people. He came to that later in life. And he probably, you know, anyway, well, we know definitely he was kidnapped, and he was different after that. And he began to see everybody as a threat, kind of like Dany did with, you know, all her advisors, and probably started calling things that weren't really treason, and over punishing people, and yeah, he went mad, just like she did. It's not an attack on women. I mean, how can you say it's an attack? People say, it's an attack on women. She's acting like her father. Her father was a man. So, we have 2 mad Targaryens, 1 male, 1 female. Shut up. It's not like all the females are bad in the Targaryen line, and the men are good. Maegor the Cruel was a man. He was pretty cruel. He's the one that built the Red Keep, and then he had all the stonemasons and people that worked on it killed so he could keep the secrets. Yeah, and Dany just burned like... Mic problem, sorry. Dany burned, at least 10, 15, 20% of the city there before in that one episode. So yeah, she's worse. They called Maegor cruel. What are they going to call her? Anyway. What else? I don't like Arya's ending. I don't. It's a trope that I'm a woman. I'm gonna go be free and look at the world. And I know she wanted to explore. That's cool. But I mean, dude, how does someone she knows she's not gonna want to be in love ever? That's what people say before they've fallen for someone. And maybe the magic just wasn't there with Gendry. I don't know. But yeah, most people wind up. And I've had a. This is not about me, but yeah, I've not dated much in the second half of my life, kind of on purpose. And yeah, I mean, as a guy, when you don't seek it out, you're not really gonna, get too much. And do I miss it? I mean, but I had a life full of, I would always have a girlfriend, and like, it was serious. I didn't cheat. I didn't, didn't want someone to think I might be cheating or giving someone else a chance. I was all about it. And that's why I've taken a kind of a long break from that whole cycle. I broke that wheel for me, because it was just a wheel for me. And but she hasn't, man. And when you start to, I mean, yeah, a tomboy is going to say, yeah, I'm never getting married, but I mean, that's the way people are. I just kind of felt that was a little tropish and a little bit not out of the Game of Thrones world, because it's not real, it's not what people really do. I mean, like, so people say, I want to go off and find myself, and then you talk to them 6 months later, and they're married, or they're engaged, and like, you didn't really go find yourself, you got lonely, and I don't know, rather than her get lonely somewhere in some port town and fall in love, quote unquote, with somebody, I would have rather seen her wind up with Gendry. But oh well. And she still could have gone and sailed around and stuff, probably even better with, like Sansa wouldn't help her out, but, or Bran. I guess she's set, but could have had even more supporters, even an even nicer boat, an even nicer trip, done more stuff, because she'd have had Gendry's Kingsguard lords, some of his men protecting her with their lives, because it's and not that she needs protecting, but I mean, if the mountain grabs a hold of her arm, I think she's going to need protecting. Obviously, he's dead, but a little comment there that assassins aren't necessarily the best fighters. They're really good at assassinating people. And even Syrio, or even Jack and Agar said it himself, to be a dancing master is one thing, and to be a faceless man another. Anyway, so just because you learn how to... Killing is not just like a thing you do. There's different types of killing, and you specialize in different types. Anyway... Arya would not win the UFC title because she knows how to poison people or fight with a stick. Or, why is she better at fighting? Or supposedly they try to make it seem like that. I mean, lots of people have been training their entire lives with these weapons and have far more muscle memory, far more muscle. Anyway, Arya kind of bothered me. I love that character, and I just felt that was a tropish ending. But, I mean, yeah, they broke so many things. I'm totally satisfied with how it ended, totally satisfied with the show. I just want to see more. I want to be in one of those small council meetings. My God, that looks like the most lit place on Earth. And then going to get a drink afterwards with Bronn, Tyrion. Be cool as hell. Anyway, love the show. Still hate episode 3. Like, subscribe, love me, bend the knee, etc. Bye.